kuno kuswala kwennyini ekiri mu Palamenti bano etufudde Dr. Abed Bwanika kansooke okulaga ebintu bino.
A cap in terms of the power that is generated per kilowatt hour. It was 8 cents per kilowatt hour, and currently here it has gone to 5, which would be okay. But I want to implore government that for power that is generated from projects which have other benefits, like this one of when you are doing waste management, government should revisit the cost for the kilowatt hour so that we can attract investors. There are so many investors who have visited Uganda in terms of waste management treatment, but they have gone away. They have been, because of a prohibitive cost per kilowatt hour. We benefit not only from power when you treat waste. We benefit, we can get ethanol. There are so many other things. I want to ask the cabinet that through you, Mr. Speaker, they should revisit that issue of 5 cents per kilowatt hour for waste management. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, 2 years ago, when we had these problems in my constituency and they killed the people, the president was gracious to contribute 10 million per family. And that helped our ordinary people in terms of coffin and burial. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, honorable colleague. First of all, I also condole with the people who lost their lives and those who have suffered through this disaster. But for your information, honorable member, we have the president has already approved and cabinet the waste to management project in that place at 10 cents per kilowatt hour, with government taking a subsidy of 2 cents. So we've already reviewed that. So for those projects of that nature, we are actually allowing 12 cents, but government is carrying the 2 cents and they have to produce at 10 cents. And we hope that with the reduction in the other generators, the energy mix will be able to give us that. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable AG. I wish we had done it long ago because it has taken, but the step is in the right direction. Right Honorable Speaker, I was submitting on the contribution of government to these victims. In our place, the president contributed 10 million, and we were very gracious for that. We are very appreciative. I'm hearing now the president has contributed 5 million. What is the basis? There should be a guideline, because these people need coffee, they need someone should guide the president on what to contribute, because when they hear that in Masaka it was 10, another place it was 20, they will think, what did you base on to give them 5 million? I want to implore that should be revisited and there should be some guidelines. Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable.
I want to thank you so much, Speaker, for the opportunity. My condolences to the families who have lost. Right Honorable Speaker, I don't know whether the Minister for Kampala knows or has the definition of waste management. I picked interest in waste management 3 years back when my daughter, who was in year 4, had a home assignment on waste management. Right Honorable Speaker, I think waste management starts from waste collection, transportation, and treatment. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Attorney General for that information you've just given, that government has already approved the project for generating electricity in the area. Mine is a humble request, Right Honourable Speaker. We have a problem to rescue those who are still down there. And we already have a challenge of resources. We are not having resources because of issues of corruption in KCCA. Right Honourable Speaker, my prayer is, can this parliament be exemplary? You have a budget to move around this country, to have regional parliamentary sittings. I'm told, and yet to confirm, because I know it's very difficult even now as members of parliament, we don't know the budget of this parliament, because we don't have access to it. So I request, I'm told you have a budget to do regional parliamentary sittings from Gulu, Mbarara, Mbale, and Masaka. My prayer is, can we be exemplary and sacrifice that money to rescue the people in Mwadan's constituency? That's my humble prayer. I thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Before the former immediate chairperson for the Committee on Natural Resources, and Honorable Dr. Tara.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, I would like also to add my voice in condoning with the families that have lost their loved ones, but also to condone with all of us as Ugandans, because this loss touches all of us, and the people who have been buried down there in Chitezi were coming from all over the country. Right Honourable Speaker, as a former chairperson of the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, I want to begin by agreeing with the Honourable Songa and the Honourable Kajwenge, who have rightly described the landfills that we have, the so-called landfills that we have in Uganda, as not being worth the name of a landfill. In fact, anybody who has studied public health and specifically environmental health will say that what we have are not landfills. Because in the first place, landfills have specific methods of construction. So what we are doing, we are merely dumping. A landfill is constructed right from beneath the ground, and at the base is a material that is impervious to leakage and contamination of the water under the ground. And at every level after filling, it is covered up layer by layer. So what we are doing falls short of that kind of technology. But Right Honourable Speaker, my committee visited Chitezi. I think we were just a few of us due to limitation of. One of the questions that has been lingering is what actually triggered this? We actually found a plethora of people trying to eke a living out of this garbage. They are trying to extract polythene bags so as to take them to the recycling plants nearby. They are trying to extract poorly disposed water bottles so as to cut them into pieces and export them to China. because this country doesn't have a technology of recycling water bottles. And so you find a whole lot of people scavenging on a landfill or in a dumping ground. And I believe one of the immediate actions is to stop our people from going to dumping grounds to scavenge for materials like boveras and water bottles. So I want to agree with my colleagues that if we are to stop this problem, what needs to be done is to sort garbage right from our own homes. Right, Honorable Speaker, that is my humble contribution, that people should stop going to dumping grounds. That could have been one of the triggers of this landslide. I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Nambeshi.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. Mr. Speaker, Kitezi was a disaster waiting to happen. And my grief, as I also express my heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families. Mr. Speaker, my grief has been exacerbated by the information I've received from the area member of parliament, the Honorable Muadanku Nyinji. He has said some of those that are homeless, hopeless, and are devastated are from Bale. And you know, Bududa is synonymous with the disaster. This could be people who have moved from a frying pan to the fire. And you know, most of the IDPs in Bududa are either in Kriandongo, in Bulambuli, in Bale, in Kayunga, Buikwe, and here in these suburbs of Kampala, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I want to bear with the minister, the new minister. I want to salute your zeal and zest with which you have come to this ministry of disaster preparedness. But much as you have been lamenting about the ill preparedness, and you mentioned it in your report, your statement, the contingencies fund. Mr. Speaker, this fund is provided for in the Public Finance and Management Act. And most of the thorny issues are revolving around limited funding or constraints in finances, lack of funding by KCCA. But we have a provision. Section 26 gives even the formula. 3.5 times, that is what is calculated. 3.5 times the annual appropriated budget of the previous year is supposed to be in the contingencies fund. But it is not the case, Mr. Speaker, sir. No, I'm extremely informed on this one. Mr. Speaker, I know why you are...
Did you provide the money?
No, you have not been allowed. Mr. Speaker, thank you for your protection. Thank you for your protection.
You're usually generous.
What I wanted to correct is 0.5 of the annual appropriated budget of the previous financial year. But Mr. Speaker, this 3.5 was amended recently by, I think, 10th Parliament. It used to be 3.5. So my mind was still warped, but I have... Mr. Speaker, I want to bear with the minister to remind you that your sister Ministry of Finance is in absolute defiance of this provision in the law. Because even as we deliberate on this issue, the minister has no guts whatsoever to prove to us that that figure that is required, that is even a provision of the supreme law of the land, the Constitution, is there in the contingencies fund. What is there is a quarter of what is stipulated. Mr. Speaker, sir. So this information will come later. Just hold on. Mr. Speaker, I was shocked, and I put it to the Minister of Kampala, the Good Hajat of Kampala Capital City Authority. Your ministry came out through the Deputy Executive Director, one David Luyimbazi. I just want to paraphrase what he said in response to what has happened at the Kitez landfill. He said that they were aware, as Kampala Capital City Authority, that that landfill had reached maximum carrying capacity, and therefore it was a time bomb to detonate any time. Now, the $1 million question one would ask is, if you knew all this, why didn't you expeditiously work around the clock to relocate the dump site? Or even relocate the people in advance? Because even now you have, understand, a buffer where you have relocated the people, others are finding their ways out. But this is what you should have done first. These emergency responses after lives have been claimed is the firefighting, which is typical of your government, Madam Minister. Mr. Speaker, in the 9th Parliament, Honorable Otata and the Germans, we were in the, that was 10th Parliament. I was in Natural Resources. They came with Germans and they were ready to construct or to invest in a recycling plant. But do you know what happened? The reports we got, they were frustrated by those that were in the capital city asking for kickbacks. So corruption, in a way, is responsible for many lives that have passed on than even the landfill or the landslides in Bududa, Mr. Speaker. Many questions abound about these settlements around Kitezi. How come that NEMA, which is an enforcer of environmental law, comes out with the experts after this disaster to give caution that landfills like Kitezi are not the best method of managing solid waste management? Where were they? What are they doing? Have they failed to discharge their role of enforcing the law, and they have become violators of the same? Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, one of the questions has been raised by the President himself in the letter which he has written to the IGG. He is asking about who allowed these people to live near a potentially hazardous, he used the word catastrophic, and a dangerous heap of rubbish. I suppose the investigation is will arrive at a logical conclusion, but I highly doubt whether he doesn't know who allowed those people to stay there. Now a government going to make 40 years down the road, honestly, is like someone who has slept naked throughout the night. And then you realize in the morning that when you are naked, you cover yourself after mosquitoes have preyed upon you. I beg to submit, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Government. Someone can help me inform Honorable Saro Pendi that we are coming to the bill, to the next item. Colleagues, you can see for more than 2 hours we've been on this item, which was not essential on the order paper. So we have to go straight to other matters on the order paper. So next we shall be handling the alcohol bill.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to condole on behalf of government. I condole with the relatives of the bereaved families and also those who are displaced. And we pray for those who have lost their lives, for their souls to rest in eternal peace. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm saying that the emergency rescue program is going on, and it is going to be expedited by mobilizing more equipment from the different partners so that light can be provided at night to ensure that work continues for the 24 hours so that these bodies can be retrieved. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, the Right Honorable Prime Minister is chairing a meeting right now to intensify on the emergency program with the different partners and also to address the issue of the welfare of the people who are displaced. And many things, of course, she is trying to do that as we talk now. And also, Right Honorable, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda has put up an investigation team to rule out the possibilities of negligence. So we have to give these people an opportunity to do what they have been ordered to carry out. Lastly, Your Excellency, Right Honorable Speaker, for the comprehensive report, I'm saying that next week, Cabinet is going to sit, which is chaired by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, and I request that that report will be submitted next week after members of the executive have sat. I thank you.
No, you don't. Colleagues, when you say twice, I've heard. Okay? Yes. Just take your seat and, okay? Yes. Now, honorable colleagues, this is a very absurd situation, and I love the unity of the House in addressing this, you know. And my prayer is just for those ones who are still undergoing rescue efforts. That's where my focus and prayers would be. That we give a chance, like the Right Honorable Prime Minister said, we give them time, but they keep updating us. Because you see, what was so interesting, this statement was their initiative. I was really happy to see that the Prime Minister called me early morning and was like, I want to update the House. It's not that she waited for us to first say, go, bring a statement. It was really a very good initiative. Honorable Sachko, why don't we give them time? What is that is so burning? And the problem, when you change your face, you scare me. And we are in a disaster.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, we needed urgent intervention because normally what happens, you must rescue life first. And I didn't hear the minister mention, have we called off the rescue? The difference here we have, the disaster is not like the plane crash. There are people whom I believe could be somewhere hemmed up in rooms. And we didn't hear a statement to say that we are expediting on reaching those various areas.
Can we call the minister? Clarify on that?
Yes, can the Honorable Minister clarify on the rescue so that we give up on their lives, then we can talk about resettlement and compensation. No,
Honorable Minister for Disaster. Colleagues, it's been over 2 hours, I request you. Yeah.
Right Honorable Speaker, let me re-echo it. I said we have expedited the process. We have increased on the manpower. We have mobilized more machines on ground. We have put in place plans to work both day and night to ensure that we recover more bodies. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next item.
Item 3 on the other paper, bill second reading, the alcohol drinks control bill.
Byebyo ebyerusanja mubiwulidde bulungi mubitegedde kitalo nnyo eky'abantu baffe naye tusabe ebyogeddwako bikolebweko ate naffe tumanye ekizibu ekisinga obunene kya Gen. Museveni. Singa Gen. Museveni si yabadde mu ntebe abantu tebadde tebagenda kufa kwawo singa baaterezaawo dda nga baasalirawo dda amagezi kye balina okukolerawo era ati singa abantu balinvinga bulungi etagenda biwunya ati abantu bafudde bakyali mu ttaka tebabajjaayo bongera kubabeezaayo nnaku balinga agabbo baagala kujjayo mirambo taba kujjayo bantu balamu kyannaku naye Uganda yaffe tukyalina okulwana okutereeza bino byonna omulimu omunene buli olukya munnange muganda wange mukwano gwange baako kyokolawo okulaba tutereeza eggwanga lyaffe. Mukama abakuume mwera.